Hey guys, Prepare Mentality here. Now, I wanted to address the elephant in the room right now. We are in unprecedented times where our political structure is in some type of gray area, right? I didn't want to get into specifics of this. I just want to go over some of the effects, right? And things we can do to stay ready, be prepared, be ready to react calmly and wisely with discernment. And just a few things, some of my notes here that I have for you guys, just in this era of political craziness that we're going through right now. We're definitely in a time of history. This has never happened before in the United States of America. Um, and so a lot of things are going to progress, get worse. There's going to be a lot of things that we're not going to be privy to. We're just not going to understand it all. And where do we find ourselves? There's always going to be people choosing sides, right, wrong, this or that, but there's always a gray area. There's always the people in the middle, the people who just want to live their life freely, abundantly, right, in a healthy manner. And this is why I am so hard on our mental preparedness, our physical preparedness, because that is what's going to count when all else fails, right? And so the videos I do on here, on Instagram, Facebook, the content that I create here at Prepare Mentality is only for our benefit to get ready and stay ready and prepared as best as we can, right? So I'm going to get right into my notes here because we're preparing for an unstable political environment, right? No matter which way you choose, right, left, it doesn't matter, right? We're in it, and it's only going to get progressively worse as the months come ahead. And so, number one, stay informed. Whatever you do, you know, whether you're getting your information from the TV news, whether you're getting your information from online, now credible information, right? This is why we source for multiple sources and multiple content of news and information, uh, whether it be from an online platform or a TV network, right? Where we want to compare sources and especially what's going on in your local environment. It's okay to understand what's going on internationally, what's going on overseas, but to know what's going on in your local environment is most important because it affects you immediately. Things overseas, yes, it takes a while to get to us. It trickles down somewhat, but things in our local environment, things that are going on with our safety and the hazards and road conditions in the markets and the grocery stores, that's going to affect us immediately in a blink of an eye. So please find your local news station, your local radio station, your local TV station. Even on Facebook, a lot of the districts, a lot of the towns have Facebook pages that you can go on and seek information from. Please go ahead and do that today if you haven't done that already, because that's where you're going to get most of your news. And some of your police and fire stations may have a Facebook page as well. Go over there and and subscribe to their content because they're going to give you helpful information for you and your family to stay safe in the next few months in this crazy environment, right? Secondly, build your emergency kit if you haven't already. This is a good time to go back, look at your gear, look at all your emergency bags, get home bags, uh, bugging out bags, whatever bags you have for emergencies, go ahead, restock, take stuff you don't need out, make sure your food, make sure your water are up to date and not expired. This is a good time to just go back and check on things. Check your vehicle bag, check that you have things for your vehicle. But all your emergency bags, check on them because you never know when you have to run and go or you're traveling somewhere, you got to grab and go. Check on these things. Secondly, have an emergency plan, right? Developing a emergency plan with either you and your family, uh, you and friends, you and your significant other. Just outline evacuation routes, designate meeting points, and alternative communication methods, right? Because one thing you don't want is for chaos to arise and nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody knows where they're going. Nobody knows what their role is when an emergency happens. And this works because you want everybody to be on the same page. You want everybody to have the same information on what to do, how to do it, where to go. Get that emergency plan done. Fourthly, financial preparedness. Nobody wants to talk about this, but the majority of Americans are living off of credit cards. That's just bottom line. Most Americans don't have $1,000 in their emergency fund. That's bottom line. And so when we see a event that happened this past week, right? You never know what the market's going to do. You never know how our dollar is going to plummet. You never know you know, how much food is going to cost, supplies is going to cost. Make sure you eliminate as much debt as you possibly can between now and November. Please eliminate, if you can, little by little. You don't have to go crazy, but at least you have some leeway, you have some financial space to kind of gain a little bit of your freedom back. So you're not paying these monthly credit card bills. You're not putting out money. You're keeping money with you and your family and in your bank account, right? But enough on that. Build a community network, right? The people around you are going to go possibly be going through the same things and issues locally that you are going to be going through. If a emergency comes up, a disaster, things of that nature where you need other people to survive, to help out, to communicate with one another, figure how are you guys going to work this out within your local community, your local town. You need to talk to your neighbors, develop relationships with your neighbors. And I know it's very difficult to do that, to communicate with people who may not necessarily want to talk to you, who may not necessarily want to engage, right? I have some neighbors like that. We all have them, right? But at least do our best to make that connection and make some type of communication, right? Talk to each other about different issues, about different struggles that both of you may have within your community. That's how you build a relationship and a tribe within your community. Uh, Self-defense, right? However you see self-defense, I'm not going to tell you what to do or how to do it or what to get. That's not the purpose of this. The purpose of this is for you to be thinking about how you would defend yourself and or your family, your children, your parents, your significant other, your property during a major crisis. When Katrina hit, there was a major uptake in property damage, stealing from residents, stealing from businesses. There were people out in the streets with weapons of the sorts, right? So when we think about disasters and the change of environment where law enforcement may not get to you at all, emergency services may not be there to provide you aid at all. So we have to think about these things, think about these scenarios. How will this event affect me and my family? And what resources do I have to protect myself, to treat medical wounds? How are you going to do that? Start thinking about that. This one on my list is very important to me. Mental health, right? Prepared mentality, mental health. Um, Maintain your mental well-being, right? You have to practice stress reduction techniques, um, exercises, spending time, with your mental state, spending time seeking even professional help on how to take control of your mental state during emergencies, right? Because emergencies are a high stress environment. We all know, or most of us have been in these scenarios where things are very stressful, things are happening very quickly. Anything can happen at any given time. The scenario can change at any given time, right? So we have to think on our feet. We have to think fast. We have to think decisively, make a conscious but wise decision on the spot. So most of us have been there in some type of scenario, right? We all have different lives. So just think about your mental preparedness. And if you are the one who is the leader in your household, the person that people go to for structure and guidance, think about how you would react and how you would calm down the situation for others who are not taking the scenario or the emergency quite well as the others, right? Because it's stressful. It's an environment where it's stressful. It's a lot going on. There's danger, right? There's medical situations that come up, right? So think about this as we move forward within the months. Uh, and then the last one I'm going to touch on is political engagement. I know that there is a majority of people out there that are giving up on the whole system. And I get it. I understand what's going on, right? But if we don't speak up, we don't speak out and voice your opinions and your freedoms and the freedoms that you want to deserve uh, and gain here in this American society of many cultures, many different demographics, many religious views, many freedoms that I believe a lot of us take for granted because we live in it. There's really no reason to think about it until something that is really true and dear to your heart comes up, or somebody else who is near and dear to your heart gets hurt or offended, right? So engage in your, even if it's not on the elections, right? The federal elections. Engage at a local standpoint, right? Who are your mayors? Who are your board of supervisors? Who's on your school board that your children are going to these educational institutions? What are they teaching them? Who are your delegates in your state? Who are in charge of your districts, right? Who's your sheriff? Who are your deputies, right? This is a part of our political structure and our freedom that we're able to vote, we're able to engage, you know, um, participate in the process, right? Advocate for your cause that you believe in. Like I said, staying engaged locally, if not for anything. Uh, the next step is national politics, right? But I know a lot of people don't want to pay attention to it or are not paying attention to that. Because, like I said, the number one thing that's going to affect you right now is your local politics. And just get involved to help shape the direction of the political change that you want to see in your community, in your environment, in your children's life, and so forth and so on. So these were just a few things that I wanted to bring up as we have this big elephant in the room, and people are going to keep talking about it. Tensions are going to get high. There's a lot more danger out there, not to scare anybody, right? But we just want to be consciously aware of the environment that's being created. This is why we prepare for such worst case scenarios, right? If you haven't already, go and get my book, The Eye of Clarity, the keys to effective situational awareness. And there's some good things in here. About staying informed, about your family's awareness, about understanding your environment, about discernment, about, traveling to and from. Go and get this book. It's available on Amazon, or you can go to prepmentality.com. You can get this book. It's a short read, right? Very short. It's not long at all. It's not long. It's really only 70 pages, if that, right? It's a short read. I wanted this book to be a guide, and a guide really for an all-around preparedness for your situational awareness, because right now you're going to need more situational awareness than ever before, because we are in unprecedented times. So go get the book, The Eye of Clarity. And I want to know, your opinions, your concerns. Let us know here at Prepared Mentality what you think may be coming, what you're preparing for. I want to know in the comments, what you see in your local community, because if we think about it, we're going to be dealing with different aspects of this situation and scenario based on where we live. New York is not going to be dealing with the same problems Florida is, right? Kansas City is not going to be dealing with the same problems that Tennessee is. Are you in a rural environment? Are you in an urban environment, in a city environment, right? Are you in the woods, in the backwoods, where you have nobody there, basically, and your closest neighbor is a half a mile away? What type of area are you in? What is your environment? What type of scenarios will be happening given the circumstances? And I think the Eye of Clarity will help you, not just in your environment, but in your everyday life, right? So enough of promoting my book there, but it is going to help you tremendously. But these were just some few key things that I want to address. I hope you guys got something out of this, and we'll keep talking about this as things transpire, new updates, new events coming, right? And yeah, I hope you guys be safe, be healthy, stay blessed. Prepared Mentality.